Please, please turn on your camera, please. Thank you. Turn on your camera. Let's start. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So last week, we went through the questions, most of the questions already, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So this, yeah. Just to share with you the question, those of you are doing history. Hannah, are you there, Hannah? Hannah, are you there, Hannah? Yijia, you're doing history, no, right? Are you doing history? No. Okay, anyway, just to update, Qian, you are doing history, right? No, right? You're still not doing history,
I think.
You think, okay, do you know about this question, right?
All that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is a kind of questions, it's actually a hybrid purpose, something new. So Yijia and Hannah, if take note, So let's say if SS were to come out these kind of questions, then don't worry. Usually when they ask these kind of questions, they ask you a few things. You can ask for differences, similarities, purpose, reliability, and usefulness. Then how how do you know which one are you supposed to use it? Okay. So again, yeah, I so can't tell what kind of question come out. I can't tell you, okay, what kind of reliability, usefulness, or all these lah. Okay. But just to take note, so whichever you write, I would think after looking through this paper, Qihan, I feel that every questions can use for the purpose of why this Winston Churchill is saying that. So for example, if I were to change this, oh, two of you, so somebody log off. Let's wait for the other two first, just for the benefit of the two of them. I think there are some Wi-Fi issues in my room. Hello, no. Hello. I don't want to repeat again. So just in case while waiting for this. So meanwhile, can we do question of this one? Wait. This one. Okay. So meanwhile, can we do these two questions? The government should be responsible for reducing the dependence of fossil fuel using the source in this case study. So we have done the rest of the questions already, right? So yeah, let's go and do it. This one here. So weighing all the pros and cons, yes and no, agree, don't agree. So yep, this is a question, 10 marks question. So this is a background information. Okay, let me give you the sources. Oh, that's quite a fair bit of sources to do. So this one you don't see. Okay, let's talk about this one here. Okay, these are the sources. Okay, so this one is a picture. So we look at the sources here. Agree or not agree? Can we start doing it now? Thank you. Let's go at the 10 marks questions. I repeat the questions again, all right? So the question asks, The government should be responsible for reducing the dependence on fossil fuel. Using the sources in this case study, explain how far you would agree with this statement. So of course, there will be three sources against or three sources for disagree, or five sources are all against or one sources disagree, or is it two only agree, four disagree? So please make a stance. Hello, Hannah. So we are going to do questions number 5. So just in case you miss it out here, we're going to have this question over here. All right. The government should be responsible for the reducing of dependence on fossil fuels study. This case, okay, sorry. Using the sources in this case study explains how far would you agree with this statement. So Hannah, I'm not sure about your teachers. I'm not sure about you. What did your, please be honest, because it's going to impact you on the 27th of October for your this question. What did your teacher tell you about this type of questions? Back to you. Is it you're supposed to use all the sources itself or what? Or just selective? Back to you. Hannah? 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 Ija, are you there? Oh yeah. Chia, are you there? Oh, okay. I thought my screen frozen, no? So it's actually Hannah's screen frozen. Sorry. Okay, okay. So never mind, never mind. Okay. Hannah, you are hang frozen. Your screen is frozen. So let's do this question. Hey, what's wrong with seeing it? When you say agree, of course, Chiha and Ijia, you need to quote, okay, to quote to say yes or no, right? I go to toilet first, Hannah, are you there? Okay, your Wi-Fi okay? Okay, wait, Hannah, can you answer me? Did you hear my question just now I asked you about the 10 marks answer? So may I ask, okay, one more time. This is we are doing the 10 marks answer. All right. So did your teacher tell you to weigh all the sources? That means all the 6 sources, or only select 2 agree, 2 disagree, or only 1 agree, 1 disagree, or every single thing. So which one? Option 1 is select 2, 2. Option 2 is select 1 yes and 1 no. And third option is select everything. Back to you.
2, 2.
Good luck to you. I'm serious. Good luck to you. Don't okay? Because by right, you're supposed to weigh everything. Okay, I leave it to you. Those of you, you know what I mean. It's best to weigh everything. Okay, later we'll see the answer why it did so. Okay.
So if you manage to find the time to weigh everything, okay, 除了你 you physically don't have time, bro. Unless you like get time out of your ass lah.
No, I disagree with you, bro. Because I have seen it, people. I was an invigilator. I very capable. I go around and check. There are people who can really manage to go through it.
No, but even if you evaluate all sources, your elaboration might not be accepted and your paragraph won't be accepted.
True enough, I agree. But isn't it better to pay an insurance to weigh everything rather than you have 2, 2, and what happened? The other 2 you weigh is salah wrong.
No, but if you think about it, it's better to put all your effort into 4 good paragraphs rather than waste all your
my dear.
listen, I'm not a
No,
like it's
I'm not against
you
you.
would rather the quality of 4 paragraphs rather than you do all of them very brief.
Excuse me, you are a student, and how do you know that 2 paragraphs that you select are good quality or not? You get what I mean? Even as I'm a student last
Obvious
time.
one, what? Unless you're like damn
No.
stupid.
No, not everyone is so smart like you. I'm so sorry. I'm not saying Hannah is stupid. Okay. I'm not saying anyone is stupid. It's just that it is as a duty of a teachers. I always have to tell my student to be a bit kiasu. You know what's kiasu? To scared. So I'm not wrong and you're not wrong. But how do you know the 4 paragraph that you choose are 100% confirm correct? You get what I'm saying? Let's be honest. Okay, even we as a teacher, sometimes we also not, even sometimes our teachers are answer come us out. We also, like you say that day you challenge me. You say I was wrong. I'm also not perfect. I say, lucky you tell me. You say, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, because you put this one here, the one highlighted in yellow and this one here. You see? So a survey. Then you say, it's a survey, Uncle Raymond. Can't you see the word survey? You see? So there's a possibility, and you never know. Sometimes when the person mark, I seen a fair share enough teachings SS for coming 20 years already, since 04 until now. How many years? You count, So I'm not against you. I'm not against anybody. I just want to play safe. So you are not wrong. Like you say, like yesterday, I taught my nephew and my godson. I told him about you, that you go straight to the level. He said, wow, he's steady there. He dared to take the risk. He said, but yeah, he took it in prelim and he passed well. Walao, not for me, uncle. I don't think I'm so brave like your student. I'm referring to you lah. You know, you jump right. You say, wow, he dare do it. But because he do that, he got enough time to do SRQ. And fair enough, I told them off to the 2 boys. I said, the 2 of you, your handwriting like shit, lor. So no matter how you write much, so like that. So they give me that kind of the F face on me. All right, Tian, so I hope you understand. Thank you for sharing. So I leave it to you. Yeah, if you have good time, do it. But definitely, I have done it before and proven it's all up to individual. So, Hannah, I leave it to you. So, an argument between me and Chihan and I is valid, but I really cross-reference, by the way, Chihan. I asked all my ex-colleagues, my teachers, the years I'm teaching. It is good to weigh everything. Of course, I agree with you, Hannah. Do too. I am not saying you are wrong. Because if let's say you really got left only 5 minutes, and this is the questions, okay lah, I will maybe left half an hour, 30 minutes, and you have not do your SRQ, okay lah, understand, Tian? Yes, I understand. Okay, so let's do these questions, the 10 marks, And later we're going to do SRQ. And if we have time, we're going to go through Qihan answer. Okay, once we finish these 10 marks, we're going to go through that history questions, the purpose questions, okay? Next week is the last lesson, so I will prefer you guys to tell me, Itia, Hannah, and all of you, to tell me what you want to really focus on, what things. If not, I also don't know what to tell you to do what. So maybe, Hannah, you got my number, or you last me say, Uncle Raymond, I want you to focus on like purpose questions. Or Tian say, Uncle Raymond, can you maybe go through my previous past year paper? Or Itian maybe say, I want to spend more about the SRQ. Or maybe you want to do certain topics to be more emphasized, or maybe I want to talk about this diversity or globalizations or goods and services. You name it, huh? I come back to you, type in your answer for me here, in the Zoom chat. Thank you. Du-du-du-du. 你要拿去哪里？不 outside，不要了。 Once you're done, please submit your answer to the Zoom chat so that I know you have done. Thank you. Okay, Anna, the first one, the source A is this one. Okay, the Hannah, this is the source A, so very straightforward. Okay, just in case you don't know. Okay, then these are the rest of the sources here. So just in case you miss out the background information, Hannah. Okay, this is the background information, all right? Very important. Even when you're doing the 10 marks questions, you still have to look through the background informations, please. Okay, thank you, Hannah. Let's wait for Qihan and Yijia. Thank you very much. Well, since you have time, right, Hannah? Since you have the time now, would you mind if you can? I'm not forcing you, but I will love to force you. Can you get me another two? Agree and disagree? Thank you. I leave it to you. If you don't feel like doing it, it's okay, right? No problem. So, Hannah, you agree that source B and F is the one who say that government is not giving full support to reduce the carbon footprint of fossil fuels. Whereas you say the other disagree will be because of individual efforts will be source C and source D, right? All right, huh? Thank you, man. Hello, Cian. So we are doing questions number for this one here. I'm not sure you have the time or not. Okay, the questions asked for this will be this one, the 10 marks answer, which is, let me repeat again. The government should be responsible for reducing the dependence on fossil fuel. Using the sources in this case study, explain how far you would agree with this statement. So, Xingyan, they have been spending coming about 20 minutes to do this question already. So, let's be fair, I can't spend too much time for you to write a full essay as what Hannah has been doing. So what you need to do, maybe you can do this in such a way reading, okay, this is source A, by the way, Xingyan, and these are all the source B, C, D, E, F. So maybe you can write like, choose which are the 3 or 4 agree or disagree. Or maybe you can choose all. So it says source A, C, and E are agree. Source B, D, and F are disagree, something like that. Okay, Xingyan, you got it now. So you need not have to write a full essay. Maybe just in point form, then say why you agree source A is the government responsibility, as simple words like that. Okay. So I'm still waiting for Itia and Qihan to submit the answer. Whereas Hannah has submitted the answer already. Right, thank you. So while waiting for Hannah, what did you score again? I'm so sorry. For your essays in prelim. Huh?
I forgot.
Pass lah, but pass, right? Both. So which one do you think you need more focus on? Is it SPQ or SRQ? While waiting for them to answer, so I just want to kill time. And can you explain which one do you think that you're not strong at?
Maybe like SPQ.
Which part of SPQ that you're not strong at? Is it in excuse me, sorry. I got choked. Is it inference or is it inference with purpose? Is it reliability? Is it usefulness? Is it comparisons, differences, and similarity? Or is it assertions? Or is it hybrid questions?
Like just the provenance.
Oh, means that means you got some ambiguity and vagueness and uncertainty whether this prominence, how true it is. Give me an example. When you read the prominence, are you able to detect whether this prominence is positive, negative, and neutral? Let's talk about this example. So imagine we are talking about the topic of healthcare. And this prominence is by opposition party, all right? Sorry. An ex-opposition party, and we are talking about healthcare in Singapore, okay? So an ex-opposition party who is saying that the healthcare is very affordable. Listen up, by right, opposition party is to say the healthcare is supposed to be expensive, right? But now he's saying, yes, I agree that the ex-opposition party saying that the healthcare is reasonable and affordable. So the question asks you, are you surprised or not surprised? And this prominence, what does it tell you? I thought you're supposed to say bad things about the government PAP, even though you have an ex-opposition party, but why you agree that the healthcare is affordable? Back to you. So is this something like that, the prominence? Yes, sorry.
Like surprising.
I think both are surprised and not surprised, huh? Okay, so let's talk about surprise elements that under the base on the prominence. Why is it so?
Because the ex-opposition party is expected to like throw shade to like the healthcare because I mean he's the opposition party. But then
Excuse me, ex-opposition party. Please, there's a difference. It's like my ex-wife and my wife, or my ex-girlfriend and my girlfriend. So the word ex play a very, very significant role. Okay, carry on. Blur already. Uh-oh. Joke aside, Hannah, I don't know. I just joke. Will you trust your boyfriend or you trust your ex-boyfriend? Get a joke, Obviously, I trust your boyfriend, right? That ex-boyfriend, right? Because it's ex already. So this is a hint. It's just like a person who divorced. Say, will you trust his ex-wife or wife? Or even the third one, his ex-girlfriend. But his ex-girlfriend is not his ex-wife, it's not his wife. You get it now? It's a prominence that say that. Or that Mr. Tan Akao. Okay, let's say it's an ex-girlfriend. Wow, he's really a slut or something in school. Okay, ex-girlfriend. Then the ex-wife say, wow, this Tan Akao, hopeless, always beat me out when we were married. Then the actual one say, no, this Mr. Tan Akao has treated us very well. You know, the reason why he divorced with his ex-wife, his ex-wife is a gambler. And I helped him to clear all his debt because the ex-wife owned a lot of loan shark money. Get it now? You have to look through the prominence because usually the ex are supposed to say bad thing. But mind you, my dear Hannah, he's talking about good things about healthcare. So why are you surprised and why are you not surprised? And those of you who are listening, you can cheat in and later answer.
Oh, I'll say surprise.
Yes, please.
One because like I mean he's the ex-opposition party, so
Finally, you use the word ex-opposition. You cannot say opposition party. The moment you put opposition party, zero. Play with words, Carry on.
So like I mean he has a history of, you know, not seeing eye to eye with like the current like government.
Fair enough.
So you expect him to say like not so positive stuff about the healthcare in Singapore. but then it's also not that surprising
Okay,
because
hold on. So you say surprise. Can you please cross-reference to prove that he's surprised? No, not surprised. You say not surprised first, right?
no, I said surprise first.
Okay, you say surprised that he's supposed to say bad things. So how can you cross-reference to say that you are surprised by what he said, by what he's supposed to be mocking, being sarcastic, because he cannot see eye to eye with the government. Therefore, I'm surprised that you say good thing about the government's healthcare system. So how can you cross-reference? So you can say I cross-reference to, let's say this is source B, surprise, source B about X opposition. So you say I can cross-reference to A, okay, because it say that by this providence, okay, by Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, for example. Right. Please come on. If you're gonna doubt Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, then I know what to say already. I don't know what to say, okay. So that's A. Okay, not surprised. Thanks, Sihan. I saw your answer. Yes?
Mm,
You're not surprised. Why? I'm surprised that he said this. Oh, now you understand your promise. I know where you come from, my dear Hannah. You're a bit confusing now, right? Because of the prominence. Because it's an ex-opposition party. Very tricky. First of all, I'm surprised that he say good things. That's 很自然的, very normal. But when you say not surprised, you start there. Why? 想到吗?
surprise
Not surprised.
because
Not surprised. Just now you say surprised already, 现在是 not surprised.
because it's
Not surprised,
ex-opposition party, so he doesn't really have like he doesn't have a motive of trying to get
Very good.
more votes or anything. So he will come out with a more fair opinion because he's not trying to get anyone on his side.
Do you see my thumbs up? Damn you, man. You got it. So he has no vested interest. 我鸡蛋糕我讲多好都没有用啊，把这个是事实啊。但我 resign from my opposition party, I realize that's why I resign from my opposition party. 因为我觉得我这个 opposition party 在讲废话 so I don't agree with that, so I resign. So finally, I don't want to join politics. But after looking through the research R&D, I realized, Singapore government 虽然是医药费很昂贵 very expensive, but overall they really take care of the majority of the people. So therefore, I don't say totally, ladies and gentlemen, but I do agree that affordability is still acceptable in certain level. Therefore, I say the healthcare is good. Now you get it now, Hannah? So 你要自己把你自己放在那个 ex-opposition party 的那个角度 that position that on the shoe. Then you face it. Okay, so Anna, when that day itself exam, when you read the prominence, you have to put in yourself, why is this person say that? How did this person say that? If guys, all of you listening, if you cannot feel that person's that under the in his shoe, then you are very hard to analyze it. Okay, thank you, Qihan, maybe you can read a question answer so that our dear friends are still working on it. Yeah. So Xingyan, please pay a bit attention to write if you can. Once Ijia submit the answer, I will read the rest and do the next one. Okay, sorry, Xingyan. Let's go. Sosby.
Oh, me? Okay. Source B agrees to the statement as government action has the greatest impact in reducing dependence on fossil fuels. Source B states that the increased support for renewable energy policies further supports the interpretation of the war, where the main problem is fossil fuel dependence. This shows that government actions can drive nationwide change through laws and incentives, and even coordinate international agreements to ensure global cooperations to reduce fossil fuel dependence. Source E also agrees to the statement as governments have the ability to plan for long-term projects. Source E, I wrote the wrong letter. Anyways, Source E states...
Stop. Here you make mistake, okay. Please, for goodness sake, I tell you, in exam, please check. Imagine you straight away change source F. The whole entire thing by right is correct. Then good luck to you. I know, it's okay. Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Source E states Europe is now on track to comfortably outpace its pledge to generate 40% of its total energy from green sources by 2030, This shows that government can plan for long-term goals for sustainability and even go as far as to impose carbon taxes, which other stakeholders such as individuals and other companies alone are unable to conduct. Source D disagrees to the statement as banks and private companies are reducing fossil fuel financing. Source D states people are beginning to recognize that the over-reliance on fossil fuels is a challenge. This shows that businesses have a significant financial and technological influence to support the transition and can invest in renewable technology to ultimately reduce carbon emissions. Source D disagrees to the statement as individuals can all play their own part. Source D states that people seem to understand that they have to save gas to prevent the crisis from escalating, and they did, showing that citizens can help to cut energy use through tuning down electricity consumption, demonstrating that individuals are able to reduce fossil fuel demand through their own choices, which ultimately reduces the reliance on them. However, I would like to question the reliability of Source D as it is clearly biased. It is from an interview with the CEO of DBS Bank and has a vested interest in appearing environmentally responsible, making his comments biased towards improving the company's public image, therefore not fully representing the true extent of the role of public sectors in reducing fossil fuel dependence.
Because your last one, you got 9 marks already. Because of the last one, you got 9 marks. So Hannah, are you there? Hannah, you get what I mean? You see the last paragraph, Hannah? So you see, you can say all disagree, 2, but you see the difference, the last part, however, I would question. So Hannah, would you mind read your answer? While once Hannah finish reading the answer, Ija, I hope you can submit your answer. Okay, thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Let's go. I disagree, Hannah.
I disagree with this statement as Source C contradicts it. Source C states Europe profited greatly from the determined efforts of its citizens and its private sector to reduce energy use. Households turned down thermostats, switched off non-essential lighting, took shorter showers, donned heavier sweaters and wool socks, vacationed closer to home, and insulated windows and doors, among other energy efficiency measures. This shows that through individual habits, there has been a decrease in overall energy consumption in Europe. Hence, there's a reduced need for fossil fuels, therefore reducing dependence, which shows that fossil fuel dependence is an individual's responsibility.
Stop, you see, you spend too much time writing this, is nothing wrong. So be careful. It's not that you look at Qihan one, okay, quite straightforward, short and simple, which is okay, which is similar amount of words that you write, but yours is more details, which is not wrong. Okay, just be careful. Nothing wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong to cannot write like that. Nothing wrong. Let's go and move on to the next one.
I agree with this statement as Source B supports it. Source B states the increased support for renewable energy policies further supports an interpretation of the world where the main problem is fossil fuel dependence, which can be solved by expanding solar and wind power as a replacement. This shows that through governmental policies like using energy sources alternative to fossil fuels, the dependence on fossil fuel can be reduced. Hence, this shows that the government should be responsible for reducing fossil fuel dependence.
Okay, so these two, you see, you put them, you agree, disagree. But honestly, I prefer like what Qihan did. You put everything to agree, okay, even the 2 paragraphs, then you put everything to disagree, and then finally finalize the verdict itself, which I feel for me, I would rather mark this more smoother, which is nothing wrong again, nothing wrong. That Hannah, you put yes, no, nothing wrong. Okay, just to see, you can see these 2 students. Okay, one of them write very details about each yes and no. The other one, yeah, I won't say it's totally not detailed, but quite detailed enough. Short, sweet, and simple to the point. But he want to spend time, this student want to spend time to do this last, the final paragraph of the verdicts. Okay, so it's not wrong. I'll just leave it to you. Who has done already? Okay, Itya, thank you very much. So let's read the last 2. I disagree with the statement as Source D.
I disagree with this statement as Source D contradicts it. Source D states DBS released its decarbonization targets in the most carbon-intensive sectors it finances, as part of meeting its pledge to be net zero by 2050. And so, without a doubt, if you ask me over a 5 to 10 year time period, I think this energy crisis is a blessing. People want to reduce the concentration of fossil fuels and it'll accelerate the process. This shows that companies who are financing fossil fuel industries have an impact on the dependence on fossil fuels, and that many support DBS's goals of decarbonization and their reduction of fossil fuel dependence. Hence, companies like banks are responsible for the reduction of fossil fuel dependence.
Why is it bank involved in this? Is because if you know that last time bank print a lot of bank statements and print a lot of letters to their clients, and of course once they put in the envelopes and letter, they send thousands or even thousands to clients, and on top of that, the postman have to deliver it, not burning the carbon dioxide or carbon footprint, but because of that now they change into paperless. Everything they will send you via email or to your apps. Last time we are worried because it's not safe, but now with all these authentications, password, so the bank is looking for ways to cut down the paper. Let me tell you, I work in three banks. DBS Bank is my first bank, and then one is Citibank, and the other one working closely with Bank of Switzerland as a vendor. I can tell you the amount of paper they use is and yes, every few years they will have to destroy the informations, and you know how much when they burn the paper, all these things or recycle it is another thing. So why I tell you this, because eventually if you are going for A level, starting for economics or GP paper, you need to know all this. Carry on, next paragraph, please. I agree.
I agree with this statement as Source F supports it. Source F states Europe is taking a gamble as it moves to ban Russian coal, leaving itself exposed to shortages and blackouts while the rest of the world contends with surging prices. This shows that the government's actions have an impact on the cost and availability of coal, and the government should consider carefully before imposing bans on Russian fossil fuels. Therefore, the government is responsible for reducing dependence on fossil fuels.
Yes, so they are looking for alternative, okay? And how they works on it is like the solar panel and others. But whether you agree or not agree, let's read on later on the actual answer. I won't tell you yet. Let's talk about Yitia. Thank you, Hannah. Yitia, your turn, please. Yitia, are you ready? Yitia, can you hear me? Can Yitia, your answer, please. Can you read to the class, please? Thank you.
Source B agrees with this statement. Source B states the increased support for renewable energy policies further supports an interpretation of the war where the main problem is fossil fuel dependence, which can be solved by expanding solar and wind power as a replacement. The support from the citizens shows that citizens expect the government to take charge by implementing national policies and investments in renewable energy infrastructure, which individual citizens cannot do on their own. This shows that government's role in reducing the dependence on fossil fuels is important.
Okay, good. The last sentence makes sense. Go.
Source D agrees with this statement. Source D states people are beginning to recognize that the over-reliance on fossil fuels is a challenge, and people want to reduce the concentration of fossil fuels and it'll accelerate the process. This shows that the targets that the government set will allow citizens to recognize the dependence on fossil fuels and influence citizens to take action to reduce the over-reliance on fossil fuels. Therefore, it is the government's responsibility to reduce the dependence on fossil fuels.
Yes, I can give you these two paragraphs, good marks, about 4 marks now. Because you use the word therefore, it is so is to enhance and ATQ the questions. Thank you very much. And then this one so short. You put 2 plus 1 only, huh? Yitia. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes? Hello? I can't hear you. Or can you read the third paragraph, please? Source C.
Disagrees with this statement. Source C states households turn down
Thermostat.
thermostat switched off non-essential lighting. and showed a positive attitude about conserving energy. This shows that citizens' cooperation and personal action and efforts are equally essential, as government policies alone cannot succeed without citizens' participation.
Then where's your ending? Therefore, what? Therefore, it is what? Individual efforts, not the government efforts. You did not write that, right? Correct.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know I'm not rushing you to give me the answer. Please don't worry. So therefore, this is the individual efforts and nothing to do with the government's. The individual's responsibility is more important than the government who initiate it. So yeah, I will give you about 6 marks to 7 marks. Of course, Hannah, you'll be 7 to 8 marks. Of course, you, Chihan, will be about 9 marks. Okay, so Xingyan, sorry, I got to go through the answer now. Because we're going to do SRQ, and next week, I may not want, unless we cannot finish the SRQ here, because next week I would like to do things like asking me what you need to know, like just now, Hannah. Okay, at least now you understand the prominence is really you have to do in both sides. So when you are reading your prominence, you have to think, are you surprised or not surprised what you say that? That's one part. And then is it useful to say that or not useful to say that? And if it's useful, is it how reliable it is? So using reading the prominence, you have to analyze in this manner, okay? Let's move on to the level of where is my answer? Okay, this is 10 marks. Since can you able to read this? I read this part here, then you read the rest, okay, Ken? The way, I read this part here. So in exam, we've really got no time. You can do this. Okay, say award 2 marks for 1 explanations, award 3 to 4 marks for 2 explain sources, award 4 marks for 3 explain sources. So you already got 4 marks already, all of 3 of you. So let's do this. The governments should be responsible reduce. Yo, what's wrong with my tongue? Sorry. The government should be responsible for reducing the dependence on fossil fuel. Practically everything. Practically everything except C. Now, source A agreed that the government should be responsible for reducing the dependence of fossil fuel. So A, this is shown in A national workers. Okay, we know what the picture itself is a very clear cut, straight to the answer itself. Source D agreed that government should be responsible for reducing for the dependence on fossil fuel. It is shown in D that, but in 0 to 5 years now, you might see some back. Okay, so this is using this example. If you have this example in source D, well done, good to you, good for you, right? And what it says. This means that the government are slow in converting facilities to green energy. This will continue to lead the pollutions and due to continued use of coal, affecting the standard of living of citizens. So Saucy agreed the government. This one also agreed the governments. And this one Saucy agreed the government should be responsible for reducing fossil fuels, right? And then just go through. And Source F also agreed that government should be responsible for reducing the dependence of fossil fuel as well. Oh my God, every damn thing is all the government's fault lah. Ayo, then how? Okay, I'm reading this one. Source E, okay, let me finish it up here. Source E agreed that government should be responsible for reducing the dependence on fossil fuel. It is shown in E that, but thanks to a record rollout of its green energy sources combined with conservation's measure, the continent's emissions footprints actually for prediction Europe still remain within reach of its goals to slash emissions by at least 55% in 7 years. So when you see these kind of statements and you quote, that means the examiner will know that you understand this, and it is important because this is the figure, the data that to show that it is helped to reduce. All right. So this means that the governments are proactive. The keyword is sourcing for green energy. That means they are looking for a best alternative to replace fossil fuel, right? This will lead to cleaner air and better quality of life for the locals. Well done. And now Source F agrees that the government should be responsible for reducing the dependence on fossil fuel. It is shown that in F that Europe is taking a gamble and it moved to ban Russian coal. So that means if you're not going to take it because you want to boycott, you want to go against the Russian for attacking Ukraine, you want to show the uniqueness, the esprit, the corps together to fight against Russians, Fair enough. Then what is the repercussion if you don't want to take Russian oil or you want to find alternative, which is there's good and bad for this one, the source F. Living itself exposed to shortages and blackouts while the rest of the world continues with surging prices. So are you going to take these chances just for the sake of advocating to fight against Russia? And because of that, are you going to sacrifice your citizens during the cold, harsh, and cruel winter? This means that the only government should be planned adequately, you see, not adequately, but be foresight. Foresight looking forward that what is the repercussions, what is the consequences, what is the challenges if we are not taking this coal from the Russians? Is there any implications before banning Russian oils, you see? So will the shortages will cause the economy to, not only the economy to decline further and back, depriving government funds to invest in green energy products. So why don't we start, in Chinese we call 未雨绸缪, then to do the last minute? Back to you, Xing Yuan, Source B.
Source B disagrees that government should be responsible for reducing the dependence on fossil fuels. Individuals or citizens should be responsible. It is shown in B that there seems to be a particular high support for banning fossil fuels hitting already by 2025, also among homeowners. This means that individuals have the ability to pressure government to develop green energy. This was because they were willing to pay more and suffer inconveniences to seek other green energy.
So don't tell me rubbish, these guys. It's your individual responsibility to hold it to do this. Don't go and blame the government. Don't go and blame because of Russia and Ukraine war. Before this war started between Russia and Ukraine, the energy is already there, the alternative is there. Don't tell me wait until this war and you put every single blames on the war itself, saying that, oh, because of the war, therefore it affected the oil price, the fossil fuel. Because of the war, it create a lot of unnecessary hiccups to the environments, to the people, and suffer during the winter. Just because of the war itself, it is a responsibility of governments. But why during certain war or certain COVIDs, people can survive better? It's just up to you, right? So next, move on to the next paragraph, my dear.
Source
Source?
disagree that government should be responsible for reducing the dependence on fossil fuels. Individuals should be responsible. It is shown in C that household turn down thermostat, switch off non-essential lighting, took shorter showers, don heavier sweaters and wool socks, vacation closer to home, and insulated windows and doors, among other efficiency measures. This means that individuals can sacrifice their personal comfort to seek reduce the usage of energy. Lower usage of energy means that government will need to purchase fewer fossil fuels to generate energy. Source D disagrees that government should be responsible for reducing the dependence on fossil fuel. Banks should be responsible. It is shown in Source D that we've reached out to thousands of clients to make sure that what we are committing to is not pie in the sky and that people are aligned to that. This means that the banks can be selective in not funding companies that use fossil fuels. This will force banks to turn to greener energy in order to get loans from banks to expand their business.
Okay.
Source F disagrees that government should be responsible for reducing the dependence on fossil fuels. Companies should be responsible. It is shown in D that European buyers will have to look elsewhere, stretching supply from countries as far away as South Africa, Australia, and Indonesia, where quality varies. This means that companies have the contacts or expertise to tap on new markets for coal. This can European country to avert the crisis.
Thank you. So you see that it's not just the government to be blamed. Okay, you cannot blame the government. In fact, the company has to 以身作则. They have to take their own initiative, responsibility. They need to know that, okay, look, guys, this is my job. This is my company. We don't wait for the government to tell us what to do. We need to do what we think is good. And guys, please, for goodness sake, Don't everything the government do this. So the same thing goes to BYD. We all know that the BYD is an EV car, which is environment friendly. So you see, the company had taken a few steps ahead than to the rest of the world doing EV car like Tesla, you name it, those who doing environmental friendly. Is it good that we are using this EV car? Because at the end of the day, when you charge your car, you still have to burn fossil fuel. But is it good that with all the EV cars, the fossil fuel burning is much less than more than 50%? If it's not more than 50%, don't waste time, in my opinion. Okay, so now you look here. It said that award 5 marks for 2 explain, 6 marks for 3 explain. So the 3 of you, Yijian, Hannah, and Xihan, you're more or less to this part here. And then the 7, 8 marks for explain of these, and then the 8 marks for explain of this one here. So why is it there's 1 or 2 marks extra and different? Is that because, excuse me, if there is an imbalanced source, example, 1 agree, 3 disagree, 1 agree, 5 disagree, candidates will be awarded marks of the maximum save point. You see? So you're not wrong, Hannah, to use 3, you use 4, and or even use 6. Okay, you're not wrong. And of course, the assess based on this is not on quality and not quantity, it's about the point. So and yes, that through analyzing at least one source in relation onto its reliability, utility, or sufficiency, whether there is anything lacking in the source. So Tian, well done, you did it. Okay, you explained, however. So actually, where is your answer? So I would say this is like a very good. Okay, so you see, it's something like here. Like your answer will be here. Okay, well done. Okay, I will just put it in so for future use. Okay. Okay, get it now, guys. So this is how I think your school had taught you very well, Chihan, for this. So that's the part that I think the two ladies, if you can, put in this one here. Okay, so let's talk about this source, 3 sources. Okay, we have 4 persons. So Hannah, can you read the first one to the class, please?
To be more self-sufficient in food, the government has set a 30 by 30 goal of growing 30% of our food locally by 2030. However, just 3.2% of vegetables consumed by Singaporeans in 2023 were locally grown, and overall consumption of local produce, including fish and eggs, remained under 10%, far from the 30% target. This low local food consumption is despite an increase in the number of vegetable farms and land-based seafood farms in 2023.
So take note, guys, we are talking about taxi, the timeline, the audience, and the explanations and the issue. The issue is definitely issue, this one. Okay, exploring citizenships and governance. So this is definitely, to me, is like an issue 1, okay? And what does issue 1 comprise of? Now, we're talking about nationality, the rights, the race and religions, and identity, and of course, C stand for shit, I forgot, citizenship. All right, so why is it involved in issue 1? In my opinion, because food supplies is the rights to grow certain amount of food, or is it got to do with identifies the scarcities of the land resources, or is it got to do what kind of citizens are we talking about to buy food locally, the local products, the local produce, or should we talk about how, as a government, can we allow to do something different? Meaning that can we allow our country to have more spaces to grow these vegetables, or even the fishery, the eggs, with more chicken to lay eggs? Or is there any other alternative way? So when you're reading these kind of questions, ask yourself a few questions. What do you think extract 1 want to test me on? What do you think extract 1 actually want to give me to give 2 sample or 2 example? All right, let's talk about extract 2 and 3. May I have Yijiang? Extract 2, please.
There are many different groups of people in Singapore who face challenges in their lives. One such group is the elderly, who may feel lonely because their family members have no time for them. Community groups like Dion Befrienders
It's
and
lion, 狮子
Oh,
lion
lion.
befriender.
Lion Befrienders and RSVP
RSVP.
Singapore are formed by people with a common interest, and they can help to address the needs of the elderly.
Okay, so abstract 3, please.
In addition to community groups, individuals also actively contribute to the good of society. Individuals could use their knowledge, skills, and experience to help others.
So straight away, when you look at extract 2 and 3, it's very clearly say, seriously, guys, listen, you Google it, lion befrienders, please, my advice is, since I'm talking about issue 1 and 2 for this coming exam, I strongly hope that you will look at lion befrienders. I have a good auntie, uncles who are really in lion befrienders. They did a lot in the past, and they are doing a lot in the future as well by helping these very unfortunate people, low-income people, as well as people who needs financial assistance, food supply, you name it, seriously. Okay, so these are the groups that come in as a committee. So let's talk about the text, the TAX, and the timelines in the past, in the present. There's audience, of course, I already mentioned. Explain means that explain how these committees will be more beneficiary to help the rest. And then wait, let me see. Oh, the issue 1, correct. Sorry. Something I mental block. Okay, so what about extract 3? Extract 3 say, in addition to committee groups, individual, now is asking individuals, so activities for good. So the timeline is the past, in the present, in the future of this individual to help. And audience, of course, are the poor people, the unfortunate people, so on and so forth, right? And the explanations, of course, is that, do you agree that individuals play a more significant role to help the poor, or is it the groups? Okay, so issue identified is issue 1. So this is always 2 and 3 are all like the twins. Issue 1 is 1. Let's see whether I am correct or you are correct now. Let's talk about extracts. Extract 1 reflects on Singapore low local food consumption. Oh yeah, that means nobody want to buy local food. So in your opinion, why is it critical for Singaporean to support local produce? I already told you, right? I already give you some hint maybe. So explain your answer with reference to 2 reasons why Singaporeans need to support the local produce. What if they do not support the local produce? You must ask this kind of question in your exam. Write down. So give 2 reasons to support Singapore to local produce, 就是蔬菜. Then these 2 reasons, when you put it in, do you convince yourself that these 2 reasons is good or not? And then finally, the how. How do you know that these 2 reasons will definitely help Singapore to produce local produce? All right, back to you. This is a question. We end the lesson by today. And the question 7 here, okay, I'll just leave it here. Let's go. I'm going to get some water to drink. Thank you. All right, so my advice is don't write point form lah. If you can write like paragraph. Hey, Jihan, I really like to see how you write and see what kind of two reason you're gonna give. Xingyuan, are you there? Can you know what to do?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I hope your new spectacle will make you good and do well. So please kindly give your answer. I would like to see what are the two reasons. So the three of you, maybe that question just now, the 10 marks, I think you are there to get at least 6 to 9 marks. So I leave it to you, seriously, I leave it to you. Okay. So for the two ladies and Xingyuan, you saw Qian answer. No harm to put that. If you really got no time, then of course, like what Qian said, do give the best of it. Okay. Thank you. Let's do this one. Two reasons. Why do you think it is important to support local produce? 就是买新加坡. Hey, I won't be surprised they might ask you, why do you think is give two reasons why we need to buy local products? No, why do you need to spend money in Singapore shopping mall than to go to JB? Hannah, you know what is JB? Do you go JB now? Do you go and do your hair, go and brush your teeth, do your dentist, brush your teeth? Sorry. To go and do your hair, like my daughter, I like to go and do the hair, do the manicure, pedicure, eyebrow, don't know what brow lah, and then the teeth, every damn thing from head to toe lah. Go JB seriously. Okay, but don't talk about hair, very sensitive. And then they buy a lot of things from JB. 你这样你有去吗 JB 新商? No, okay, so sorry, uncle don't like. I don't know. They say very cheap lah, very good and then the food there is very nice lah. Okay lah, I leave it to you. I support my local spending power here. Yeah, it's expensive. I do agree. Imagine every single one. I'm giving you a hint for this one for this number 6 question number 6 Imagine everyone were to spend money, go JB and buy things then our economy will be shit, man. Seriously. Yeah, I know the things there is cheaper by 3 times, but you come and think of it, the time traveling to go there, the queue, sometimes got pickpocket, sometimes safety. Do you know what, Hannah? Last 3 weeks, one of my colleagues went to JB, got robbed. Literally, 他是在光天化日之下，他拿那个包包，他的包包是放在前面这边，连那个人就拿那个 knife，就是 cut 那个 bag。然后直接叫他给他的 handphone 跟 wallet. That's it. How come you never report to police? You know what, Hannah? She looked at me. It's like, huh? Why are you laughing? Report to police lah. You know what I mean? Ai. Dun, 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 dun. And maybe can we we raise the stake higher? So when you're choosing the two reason, can you tell me just verbally, can you tell me reason A and reason B, which reason do you think is more appropriate, better? Okay, if you can, so this will help you in your actual exam as well, okay? Shane, you're writing, 2 reason, Question 7 don't do, do 6 only, For my skin. All right, it's 9:26. Hannah, your answer? No, not yet. I didn't see your answer. None of you has sent submit the answer. It's already going to be 9:30 soon. Will you be kind enough to submit your answer in Zoom chat for the 2 reason? Thank you. All right, Hannah, you mind read your answer, please? Thank you.
It is critical for Singaporeans to support local produce as it increases Singapore's food security in case of emergencies. Singapore is largely reliant on imports from other countries, like buying water from Malaysia's Johor River, which leads to Singapore being affected when there are complications in other countries, like pandemics, geopolitical tensions, or if governments of other nations decide to impose tariffs on importing their goods, or when countries go to war and are unable to supply Singapore food anymore. Supplying local food produce hence allows for local produce businesses to sustain in the long run, which we can then turn to in times of need. And these local food industries ensure a stable and reliable source of food.
Your last sentence really bring you an extra mark because I like the way you say ensure a stable, reliable, and I would like to add one more for this. Ensure a stable, reliable, and accessible to food supplies, accessible. That means at any point of time, you got this, they will help. All right, so agree. Next paragraph, please. Thank you, ma'am.
It is critical for Singaporeans to support local produce as it plays a part in boosting Singapore's economy. Buying local supports local businesses, like small urban farms and food startups, creating more jobs for Singaporeans and also encouraging more to innovate in terms of the food industry in Singapore. By supporting local, more demand is created for these food businesses, allowing profits to grow for business owners so they can expand further. This creates a cycle where more jobs are created for Singaporeans and also helps reduce economic leakage, as money earned from local businesses stays in Singapore and spending stays within the country instead of towards countries in which Singapore imports food from, helping to sustain or grow Singapore's economy.
Of course. That's why I already give you the hint. If everyone go to JB and buy things, and then Singapore, all the shopping mall closed. You can imagine most of the sales assistant or these mostly are coming from overseas, and mostly a part of it is Malaysia. So definitely you will greatly affect. And then not only that, then how? All the tuition center in the shopping mall also gone. Maybe only left tuition center. What about the food court? Everyone like to go to eat in a JB, right? What's wrong with the food here? I find that the food here is more hygiene than the JB. Sorry, I'm very pro Singapore. I'm not against anti-Malaysians. Okay, but this is how I feel. And what if this kind of question comes up in this SRQ, like 2 reasons to boost up Singapore economy? Thank you very much. Xing Yan, your turn, please. It is important.
It is important for Singaporeans to support local produce as it allows us to strengthen food security. Singapore relies heavily on imported food, which makes Singapore vulnerable to disruptions and events like wars, pandemics, and climate change. This can be seen from the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Global supply chain was affected as many countries restricted food export to protect themselves. Thus, Singapore faced difficulties importing food from other countries. Thus, it is important for Singaporeans to support local produce, as if a stronger pandemic was to happen, Singapore would not have enough food to survive. Another reason is protecting the environment. With the rising of temperature globally, climate change causes many problems to many countries. Thus, it is important to protect the environment. However, if Singapore keep on importing food from other countries, it would harm the environment even more due to the carbon emissions. Thus, it is critical to support local produce.
Absolutely, man. You bring in the COVID-19, it was one of the best historical moments when they really test us our food supply. Hey, hello, excuse me, egg increase, 1块钱, huh? Most of us realize that what's so important about eggs. Eggs is very important. They can do a lot of wonders, make a lot of food. Seriously. I remember during the SARS periods, I think you're not born yet. We have this artificial or what organic eggs to make my cai tao gui, 萝卜糕. It's very funny. So again, it is not about this COVID-19. It's about how we resilient and perseverance. And we using this COVID-19, we come up a lot of ways to make through challenges. This is nothing to do with SS. Let me remind all of you, if you want to be a Singaporean citizen, or even though you don't want to be a Singaporean citizen and you go overseas, your resilience and perseverance is based on what this government has done. Every time when there's a challenges, don't look at the challenges as a problem. Look at the challenges as a solution that you're able to solve it. And the best part is you are able to overcome these challenges and become a good solutions. Never take it as a problem. Then your life is damn freaking difficult. So Singapore governments did not use it as an excuse to say that, oh, this is a problem. We take it as a challenge to make ourselves much better for our citizens as well as the local. And you know that those local foreigners who during COVID, they also got free vaccinations, right? Thank you very much. Both Hannah and Sing, a very beautiful answer. Back to you. Let's hear our dear friend, Mr. Argumentative guy. Chia, let's go.
Okay. One reason why it's critical for Singaporeans to support local produce is that it helps strengthen Singapore's food security. When buying products grown by local farmers, the money stays within the community rather than going to large international companies. This helps local farmers and small businesses stay competitive against imported products. This also means that Singapore will be more able to achieve its 30 by 30 goal to reduce Singapore's reliance on imported products.
Stop there. Well done, ATQ. You are telling the examiner, hello, excuse me, look here. I'm answering to your question 30 by 30 because of the top reason. I explained them clearly why. If you want to meet this 30-30 target, then you definitely have to do it by hook or by crook. Back to the next paragraph, please. Thank you.
No one buys it though, it's too expensive. Another reason is that
Stop it, like you. I feel like bloody hell. I know it's true, bro. Don't like that. Damn it, man. I'm so sad when you say this thing. Very bad. Carry on. Carry on.
Another reason is that supporting local produce helps to promote sustainability. Local produce does not have to be transported over long distances, reducing carbon emissions and from shipping and transport. Furthermore, local farms make use of modern and more sustainable methods of farming such as hydroponics and vertical farming, which makes use of less land and water, helping Singapore reduce carbon footprint and promote greener innovation in food production. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I like the way you use the word make use of moderns and it's true, because we have land scarcities and restrictions of land space, we use technology to circum and overcome the way we plant the crops, the way we grow the live products, livestock, to make it not only taste better, feel good and more vitamins and more nutrition, and yet we are in a very safe and conducive and what we call this a green planting environments, it's not a greenhouse, it's a protected environment. Thank you very much. Last but not least, my dear Yijia. Yijia? Sorry, I can't hear you. A bit louder.
Supporting local produce strengthens Singapore's food security. As a small country that imports over 90% of its food, Singapore is highly vulnerable to global supply disruptions caused by events like pandemic, war, or climate change. By buying locally grown vegetables, fish, and eggs, Singaporeans create demand for local farms, which encourage them to expand production. This helps Singapore to achieve its 30 by 30 goal, producing 30% of its nutritional needs locally by 2030. This will ensure a more stable and reliable food supply during crisis.
My dear, you only use one example, is it? Firstly, what about secondly?
My second one is like about the same as Jiha.
Same as who?
Jiha.
Can you just type your answer, please? Send me the answer. Thank you. You send ready? What your answer is same with who? Sorry, I didn't hear you clearly. Hello, Yijia, I can't hear you.
Jiha.
Huh?
Jiha.
Oh, Qihang. Oh, okay. The second reason, the second is same as the one, the Qihang second, the another reason, that one, is it? Never mind, you type your answer, It's okay. Okay, read your answer.
Secondly, buying local produce helps to protect the environment. Local food requires less transportation compared to imported goods, which reduces carbon emissions and food waste. In addition, many local farms in Singapore use innovative and sustainable methods such as vertically and hydroponic farming, which conserve resources like land and water. By choosing local produce, Singaporeans support these eco-friendly practices and contribute to building a greener and more sustainable nation.
Your answer is not really the same as Qihan, because you put there like, okay, you're using innovative and sustainable methods. I like the way you use the vertical hydroponic farming. Okay, I don't think Qihan do say that, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, he did, Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Innovative, is it said? No much difference. Because after reading, sometimes I might be a bit lost by choosing local producers in more sustainable nations. But okay, your answer better than Qihan one. Okay, let's read on to thank you all of you. Let's go. And one reasons why Singapore needs to support local produce is because it is critical to our country's survival. As Singapore relies heavily on food, excuse me, our food imports, and any disruptions to the food supplies affect our existence. Why? External factors like war, climate change, and disease outbreaks can disrupt our food production and supply, which I think most of you answered that question just now. For example, during the COVID outbreaks, there was closures of border and food imports were much related, or were much reduced and insufficient to supplies to the majority of Singaporeans, and now it become a curfew. This result in temporary shortage of some food into Singapore. Just like they are so worried pandemic, they go and buy all the eggs, buy all the toilet papers, buy all the rice, and now they have to have a what they call agreements to it, to say, okay, stop, we cannot let people to buy so much of this. Okay, we must have restriction to that. Okay, so this to reduce this dependency on food. What? Huh? In time. So to reduce this dependency on food imports, supporting local produce is key to ensure resilience. You see, I told you, right, the word resilience of our food supplies. We are not threatened by a shortage of food supplies, strengthening our food security, which you talk about who was it, the one talking about the water supply, right? I think Hannah, right? By the Johor things, right? Okay, so yeah, then we don't need by people knows to say 牵着鼻子走. Another reason why Singaporean must support local produce is because it is environmental sustainable, which help to fight climate change. Yeah, remember your transportations, your carbon footprint, okay, your airline, sea, and transport affected. Local produce incurs less transportation. Yes, somebody say that. Shorter traveling distance, I think it's Xingyuan, right? Is required to deliver the produce from farmers to table. Wow, I like the way you say from farmer to tables. So less carbon emissions, which, yes, you mentioned that, which harms the environment, right? Foods currently account for over 26% of the global greenhouse. You see, I mentioned about greenhouse gas emission, right? So to stay more positive, to support the environmental friendly. So Singaporean can do their part in lowering transport-related emission by choosing local produce. Opting for local produce is helping us. In fact, has also means less energy expended for food for storage. So we spend lesser time of this transport. The durations for this transporting food in Singapore lesser means I can give more benefits. Maybe we can use and other things for the transport for other things. Example, maybe medical equipments or something like that. Okay. Or this help to reduce our carbon footprint and thus migrate the impacts. Oh, sorry, it's not migrate, it's mitigates. I was why migrate mitigates the impacts of global warming. Yes. I guess that all of you has understand the natures of this. I guess it is beautiful that you guys has understand how it works and how these two reasons can really substantiate to make sure that you are able to know that these two reasons will definitely help Singapore to have enough food, not only the food supply change, food change, but the continuity of enough food for all of us to live up for a longer period of time, rather than to depend on overseas and then they tell us to jerk up the price to make sure that we either take it or leave it. If not, then we're going to suffer under their mercy. Okay, thank you so much. I think all of you was 7 marks. It's around 6 marks. 6 marks. Okay, 6 marks. Okay, thank you. Sorry I have to take up so long for your time. I think you did a good job. All right, so next Sunday, please, can you WhatsApp to Uncle Raymond to tell me what are the things you want to cover so I can compile it? Because the last lesson for next Sunday is practically to do the question number 8, or maybe I will show you some Hua Chong paper, but is it relevant for that? I'm not sure. Or maybe other papers to help you. Again, I'm not sure. Or do you want to cover certain topics? I leave it to you, right? Right, thank you guys. May I wish